Okay, welcome to the lab number 2 results and analysis video. So I've gone ahead and downloaded the SPSS dataset, and I've cleaned it up a little bit. And what we're going to go through is we're going to go through and talk about some of the data preparation that we have to do, and then we'll talk about the various analyses that we have to do. So the first bit of data preparation, if you'll notice, we're in the data view now, so we've got a variable for the color, and for the color, 1 is a red background, 2 is a gray background, and 3 is click to write choice 3 because I wasn't paying attention when I set up the online data entry portal, so we're just going to go ahead and clear those out. But 1 is red, 2 is gray background. We also have our 3 attractiveness questions here. So how attractive do you think this person is? How pleasant is this person to look at? If you were to meet them, would you go out on a date with them? We've also got the ethnicity. So again, black, white, or Hispanic, 1, 2, and 3. And then we've got the same for person B. And remember, we counterbalance the orders. So for half of the participants, they saw the red background first. The other half saw the gray background first. And then we also counterbalance within ethnicity. So half of the participants saw the black guy in front of the red background or the black guy in front of the red background, and the same for the white guy. So what we first need to do is combine these variables together into a single variable called attractiveness. Now I've already created these here, attractiveness A and attractiveness B, but we want to make sure that these variables, these questions, have good inter-item reliability. So I'm going to start by running a reliability analysis, so scale reliability analysis, and I'm going to add in these questions 5, 6, 5, 7, and 8. Those are our attractiveness questions for person A. And when I do that, we end up with really good reliability. So this Cronbach's alpha of 0.917 means that participants are responding to these 3 questions in a very similar way. So if you thought these guys were really attractive, you're answering really attractive on all 3 questions. Or if you thought they were not attractive at all, your participants are answering the same way on those questions. So that's really good. So I'm just going to run another reliability real quick, and we're going to look at the other 3 questions for person B. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to do these 3 questions here for person B. And again, 0.912. So we've got really good reliability. So we can combine those things together. Now there's some questions that we can ask about these data. So the first question we can ask is an independent samples question. Do the women find the man in front of the red background significantly more attractive than the man in front of the gray background? So what we're going to do is we're going to do an independent samples t-test because we're comparing 2 groups, the red background versus gray background, and we're only going to look at this for the first set of attractiveness ratings, just to simplify a little bit. And this would represent a replication of the original target article. So I move that color for person A, and I'm going to define the groups as 1 and 2 for red and gray. And then I'm going to look at the attractiveness rating here. Now notice, so within these groupings, red and gray, some of the women saw the black guy in front of the red background, some of them saw the white guy in front of the red background. So when we're doing this analysis, we're controlling for the ethnicity of the participant. Because half of the people in the red background saw the black guy, and half of the people in the gray background saw the black guy. Right, so we're controlling for ethnicity. So click OK. These are fun and interesting results. So it looks like we have a sample size of 144 for the red background. Oh, and by the way, you combined your results with several other classes. But it looks like 3.81 is the average attractiveness rating for the red background. 3.30 is the average attractiveness rating for the gray background. So again, remember, we talk 2 things. We talk pattern and then we talk significance. So when we look at this, 3.81, Women found the guy in front of the red background more attractive than the guy in front of the gray background by about a half a point. And then we come down here and we look at this T degrees of freedom significance, and that is indeed a significant result. 0.023 is less than 0.05. So when women rated the first picture they saw, they rated the man in front of the red background significantly more attractive than the man in front of the gray background, and it didn't matter what the ethnicity was. So the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll look at the ethnicity of the person to see if there's an effect there. So again, I'm going to go to an independent samples t-test, and instead of looking at the color, now I'm going to look at ethnicity. Here we go. And I'm going to define those groups as comparing black versus white. So 1 and 2 again. And I'm going to click OK. And interestingly, it doesn't seem like, well, let me back up. We'll talk about patterns. Sorry, I get excited. So when we look at the mean for the black participant, 3.66, the mean for the white participant, 3.45. So women on average found the black participant is more, the black picture is more attractive than the white picture. But was that a significant difference? It was not a significant difference down here. So there was not a significant difference between ratings for the black and white person for the first picture that they saw. So the last test we're going to do, so these two tests have been independent samples t-tests because we're just comparing the two groups. We're only looking at that first set of ratings for the first person that they evaluated. The last thing we're going to do is a paired samples t-test to compare the attractiveness ratings of time 1 and time 2 to see if there's a difference for those ratings. So I'm going to go here to analyze, compare means, paired samples, because now we have a repeated measures. And when we do a paired samples, we're going to take the same ratings for the same participants on these two different variables. So the attractiveness ratings on average for person A and on average for person B. And then I'm going to click OK. And this is also interesting. So it seems like women find the first person that they look at, no matter whether it's a red or gray background, no matter whether it's a black or white guy, they find this first person more attractive, 3.59, compared to the second person, 3.32. And when we go down here to the T degrees of freedom and significance, that is a statistically significant difference. So they found the person that they saw first as more attractive regardless of the color of background that they were in front of, and regardless of their ethnicity. So that is it for the results for lab number 2. You are going to write up for lab number 2 the 2 reliabilities that we conducted to show that it was appropriate to combine those attractiveness ratings together into a single scale. Then you're going to report the 2 independent samples t-tests comparing the red background and the gray background, the black guy, the white guy, and then the last test is going to be the paired samples t-test reporting the attractiveness from time 1 to time 2 for the first person they saw to the second person that they saw. So take a look at this, start working on this between now and Thursday, and then I will have time in class on Thursday, kind of like we did for lab 1, to go over the results of this to make sure that when you walk out of class on Thursday, you are fairly confident in the results section.